Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today we're going to take a look at the 5 things you should know that will make you understand the XRP chart a little bit better than you might currently. And we're going to take a look at things like Fibonacci placement, oversold versus overbought, the percentage of declines for bear markets, the Elliott Waves, and we'll take a peek over at the XRP Bitcoin chart to see if we can find any correlation over there. And maybe if we can't, if we just need to look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. So let's get diving in. And the first thing I want to take a look at is the Elliott Waves. Now you can find the Elliott Wave tool over here on the side, a couple down and right down here to Elliott Impulse Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we could see these impulses like here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we see them over here again. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now with Elliott Waves, there's a few rules with it, but one of the most biggest misconceptions is that wave 3, this one right here, has to be the longest wave of all. But that's not true. It actually just can't be the shortest wave of all. And also, when you have the wave 4 pullback, wave 4 cannot go below wave 1. So you can't have waves that look like this. You can have them to where they look like that, but you can't have them come below here. Otherwise, you're looking at something different and it's probably not Elliott waves. So, okay, we see a couple of Elliott waves here. Now, let's go back and take a look at the XRP Market Cap chart. And here we go. I've kind of got it already drawn out for us. So we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when we look back at this one, we can see that the pullback that we had after the 5th wave came down to the bottom of wave 4. And that's what we're kind of looking at right now. We're kind of anticipating. So we're saying, all right, so are we going to expect that we're going to come back down in here to the bottom of wave 4? Well, let's see if we could find anything that would tell us that to be true. So we look at the very first correction that XRP had, and we can do a percentage measurement here, and we see that it went down 95.4%. Well, let's do that over here. 95.4 takes us to about right there. Okay, pretty close. Gets us down there near the bottom of it. All right, kind of shift a little bit, see if we can figure anything else out. So we see we have Elliott waves that would take us down here into this wave 4 zone. And then we have a percentage decline that would take us down into this zone. Can we make any type of Fibonacci measurement that would also line up for us to go right there? I've talked about this a dozen times in my videos. Fibonacci's really measure the distance of a retrace or the distance of a bullish move. So if you're projecting a bullish move, you can say, well, here's what the whole bear market was, and we can look for maybe getting way up here for our next bullish impulse. But also, sometimes we have to look at it in the aspect of, well, what is the retrace going to be, right? So in typical markets, we have lots of ups and downs, or we have downs with retraces. And we will take these measurements and we'll look at the top of one, measure the bottom of the other. And then if we expect it to go down further, we'll say, well, which one do we want to target to sell and then get back in later. Same thing goes for when you're going up, or you say, hey, I'm going to target the 2.618 right here, and I'll get out, and then I'll buy it back when it comes back and touches the top. So Fibonacci tools are really useful in regards to measuring moves and likely locations that other traders are targeting as well. So you will know that there's going to be a big resistance there, or there's a big support there. So we're going to try to find where could that possibly be, and does it line up with us somehow coming down into this, 15 to 16 cent range? And I always target that 0.702 spot, which is something that I've inputted into Fibonacci analysis on my own. It does not come included in there. Very simple to add. Just double click on the chart. Make sure you're over here on style, create 0.702, hit the check mark, hit OK. and then bam, now you've got it. Now, I have had a few people ask me to show them where the 0.702 relates on the XRP chart because I've shown it on Bitcoin so many times, and they're just like, hey, does that even relate to the XRP chart? And here you go. So, one way to look at this is you got to look at it like just at bigger moves, right? These are the moves. So you can kind of see it better, and you got to look at really the bigger, broader moves. You understand? So we're not looking at each individual one. We're looking at the bigger swings. So we measure right here. And you can see where we come to, right? We come right up past the 618, right up near the 702 over here. 702. So you can see we make a move down, come up to about the 702, make a move down, come up to the 702, and then start making a move down again. So I just wanted to show you, it does still relate to the XRP USD chart as well. So let's head back on over to the XRP Market Cap chart. And over here, we've got the top of wave 3. This was a big resistance level where the big bullish impulse got stopped and had to consolidate under for a while before it was able to break out. And we could see that this was also a support over here that broke down and has acted as support and resistance multiple times. And now we've just been traveling underneath it. So let's say, okay, well, we probably need to go back and finally test it. And right, if it's going to reject, then that would mean that we have to go back and test it again. So if we line it up to where we do that 0.702 right on the line, so here we go. We've got 0.702 right at our big resistance and support level. Where does it take us? It all lines up for right in this zone right here. So here we have our third confirmation of this area. And let's see if we can kind of really make it work a little bit. So if we go kind of like that, then we can make this point touch here, we make this point touch here, and we've got this resistance going on right here. And that would bring us right down into here. Still, bottom of this wave 4 and the same percentage of decline that we saw, 95.4, right? Right there. I mean, we've got three things telling us that we've got to get down to right here. And then, we would do what? We would bounce off there, go right back up to like the 39 to 41 cent range, and then have to see what we do from there. But so, okay, third confirmation that we need to get down into this region of bottom of wave 4. Next, let's go ahead and take a look at the sold conditions, right? So this is called the relative strength index, and we want to see how oversold are we. Let's zoom out a little bit. And I've shown a lot of this stuff in previous videos, but really just going to trying to tie it all together really fast so you have your own understanding and can see how I get to these tools. Okay, here we go. So we have, since the start of the bull run in 2017, we've gone below this RSI level, this relative strength index level, only 2 times, and both times led to big pop-ups. Now, when we look back here on this one, we can see that we dipped below it, came up, and then had to do what you call a bullish divergence before an explosion happened. So something we would be looking for would be that we would maybe come down here, and then this would actually maybe not come down as low, maybe like this, right? So then we have a lower price with a higher relative strength index, which would mean that sellers are completely exhausted, even still being in an oversold condition. And that would be more confirmation that we would at least get back up to here, up to that 39 to 41 cent level. So oversold, looking good. Now you can set up this oversold indicator just by clicking on indicators, scrolling down, relative strength index. Add it to your chart. I usually like to look at this on the daily time frame or on the weekly time frame to get a better idea. So, okay, the last thing we're going to do now is we're going to head over and take a look at the XRP Bitcoin chart. Here it is. Here is the XRP Bitcoin chart. And are you ready for the big secret? Well, the truth is, I don't think you can really draw any information from it at all. I'm so sorry. I just don't think that I have spent so much time studying charts that it just doesn't really make any sense on a bigger time frame. I mean, there's the potential that when you're like doing really short time frames, that maybe you can pinpoint specific spots where it will happen. Like you would say, hey, there's a chance that it'll bounce right here off this big bottom, and yes, it did, but boy, it just broke right back through it again. I just don't see anything in here that really gives me any information in regards to how XRP is going to perform in relation to Bitcoin. I think our best chance for really understanding how the altcoins are going to perform compared to Bitcoin is going to just be by looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, in which we have the exact same thing where we see that 0.702 retrace, and we're kind of just waiting on that next fall. So it's gotten there to the 0.702. I think it's going to fall down here. I don't know where XRP is going to go in relation to Bitcoin, but I think we can kind of get an idea on the USD values. And I think what you have to do, or at least what I'm going to do, is I've got my targets set for XRP on where I expect it to go. I have my targets set on where I think Bitcoin will go as well. And if XRP gets to its targets way before Bitcoin gets to its targets, maybe I will switch some XRP into Bitcoin to ride to those targets that I expect. But if they get there at the same time, probably not. Probably just sell out into US dollars. Don't know yet. We've kind of just got to wait till we get there. And that's going to be a fun thing for me with this channel that I've got now because I love diving into this stuff and analyzing it. And I look forward to having a new situation in the market because we've been stuck in the same situation for quite a while and we haven't seen much volatility. We've kind of just seen the slow grind down. And especially for the last week or 2 weeks, we've really just been stuck. And I look forward to some type of volatility up or down because that at least lets us know, hey, okay, well now we know we can start looking to these other things. But right now we've been so dead with a lack of volatility that we just kind of have to wait. So XRP Bitcoin, I don't think you can really, I wouldn't put too much emphasis on really being able to read that chart right now. I would say that it's likely that XRP is going to outperform Bitcoin due to the fact that Bitcoin has completed a 0.702 retrace and is likely going to make another leg down, but we just have to kind of wait and see. So let's review everything that I just told you guys. I told you about Fibonacci's. So Fibonacci's can be found over here. It's the standard. It's going to be set on this pitchfork, I believe. You can swap it down here to fib retracement. Gives you that. Then we had the oversold conditions, which you set up the indicator and you go to relative strength index right there. Then we had percentage declines. You come down here, this little logo right here, click on it, come on down to price range. Lets you pull it down. And then Elliott Waves are going to be right up on top of that. Click here, go to Elliott Impulse Wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to wrap it up for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. As always, this is not investment advice. I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.